And now, Brandon Thiccc Boy Schaub.
Good morning. How is everybody? It is February 19th. It is 10 a.m., a little bit of a later start. It is torrential downpour here in Los Angeles, and I had to drop my truck off, my Lightning off at the tune shop at Full Throttle Customs, and we've been waiting for some parts, all this stuff. Today was the day. It's been a long time coming, and here's the issue with that. That thing's on slicks, so when it rains, it's a bad combo, and it's about an hour from my house, and you got to cut through the mountains. So the guy goes, dude, in this rain, I know we're scheduled, but just come another day. I went, you don't know me. I'll figure it out. So I left at 6:30 a.m. in the pouring rain, and went about 30 miles an hour out down the highway, and there's nobody out because today's President's Day. And when you cut through the valley, it got dicey. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There was times where I was like, I'm a bona fide moron. But made it. Your boy made it. Yep, that's right. Guy wasn't planning on it, but your boy made it. Made it. So hopefully they get it done. Fresh off the plane from Austin, Texas with Brian Callen, which I'm sure we'll get into on Firing the Kid today. Friday was in Phoenix, racing trucks, which I'm sure we'll get into it. But today we are all here for UFC 298. I get so amped up to talk about these big UFC pay-per-views. I mean, there's not a sport like the UFC. When there's a big pay-per-view, my day is made. I wake up in the morning, I can't wait for the fight start. When these big pay-per-views, any pay-per-view, I watch from the opening prelim on ESPN1, ESPN Plus, even though maybe it's my Wi-Fi, I don't know, but were you guys watching the prelims? Mm-hmm. Mine was on like a 15-second, it would go, and then go back 15, go back 15. So that was annoying, but I love these big pay-per-view days, man. It's so much fun. Started with Miranda Maverick, Andrea Lee, and then I was really looking forward to this Owen Elliott, Val Woodburn. Remember, Val was the guy who jumped straight off the tractor, cutting lawns, and then fought Bo Nickel, and so this is his second fight in the UFC. And Elliott, who's known as the Welsh Gangster, he had such a good interview with Ariel because his hero's Chael Sonnen. So they call him the Welsh Gangster because of obviously the American Gangster. And so it's always good when you got the backstory on these kids, these new fighters on the early prelims, because then you actually care. It's like watching a countdown show. It gives you a reason to pay attention to the fights. So with this Elliott kid, I was rooting for him so bad, and he got rocked. He gets rocked, and you're like, oh, God, no. His father passed away from suicide. He had his trunks, simulating his dad. This kid gives you every reason to root for him, and then it's the fight business. They don't care. Everyone has a story. Everyone's fighting to put food on the table. Val Woodburn did not care that this was like the biggest night of Elliott's life, and he punched him right in the face. And it was so dicey. And then Elliott weathered the storm, and then he was in mount, had his back for felt like 20 minutes. But he dominated after that, except that one kind of dicey one, which one ref gave it 29-28. 30-27, though. He dominates except for that one scary part. But, he was definitely the talk of the early prelims. Then he met his hero, Chael Sonnen, so he's one to root for. And he also trains with our boy, Jack Shore. He was in his corner. Man, did you guys pay attention much to the Amanda Lemos and Mackenzie Dern fight besides her thick ass?
I watched.
Okay, you answered.
I scanned through it.
I got it. Yep,
Yeah.
That's not going to help here. I was dealing with the kiddos. I was on and off, and I would look, and I saw Mackenzie Dern in trouble, and then she came about. I thought Mackenzie Dern won that fight. When especially as the third round, she definitely won the third. The second, she was getting lit up. Her striking is so bad.
Yeah.
She just hasn't gotten better. It's like she had all this promise. Remember, her dad, Megatron, and she had all this promised to be the next big thing, and she has the looks, obviously, she has the skill, and then it's just some, I don't know, it's a Perello thing where she stopped working with Perello, but somewhere the advancement of her striking and putting it together it just came at a standstill, and now she's like in this weird era, and you love the girl and you root for her, and it's tough. Her striking so bad with her chin up in the air, and she's just kind of wailing, and then she has to get these girls down. Then even if they take her down, it's like good. She reverses it. She's world class. She's the best in the world on the ground there, especially in the strawweight division. So I thought maybe I'm biased because she's attractive. I don't know what's happening, but I definitely had her winning that fight. But it didn't go her way.
You saw this clip too, right? They kind of played a little bit on the UFC broadcast when they're announcing the winner of Lemos versus Dern, and this is what happened. This is from MMA Junkie on Instagram, so we should be fine. But so she was celebrating like she won, and her team had to tell her later on that no, you didn't win. It's just like disturbing,
Well,
I mean, because they said Amanda Lemos literally out loud. You could hear it. And Mackenzie
it's loud in there. Maybe she thought for sure she won. I don't think that's like a CTE thing or concussion.
Okay, that's what I'm hoping. It's
no. People are stupid.
No, it's
I think it's just loud. I don't think she's concussed and she heard Amanda Lemos and she thought she heard Mackenzie Dern. That might be a hearing problem. Maybe she blew out her eardrum. But I don't.
She did come back though, so. I remember watching the last.
Sometimes it's not pride, it doesn't matter. The first round can same as the third round, and she got destroyed. It was rough, man. It was tough to see. I thought they were gonna stop the fight.
Her striking was so much better at one point. I remember
when she was constantly working with Perello.
Yeah, she was actually doing good.
But also, we don't need her to be this knockout artist. It's she's falling down the same thing with Ronda Rousey, where it's like they're so dominant when it comes to grappling. And then they get these coaches who are like, no, you can box, man. You're the next Mike Tyson of chicks. And they're like, yeah, I'm just going to strike with girls. And it's like, no, what got you to the dance, what makes you special is your ground game, and they go away from it. It's not good. Like, she should basically just be like Khabib. Just do minimal striking, do what you got to do, and then get these girls down. If not, jump to guard. Like, quit. She's getting lit up, man. Yeah, I'm a fan. I just hope she figures it out. That's 2 losses in a row. It's tough. And then you get into the main card. Hernandez looked great. He looked fantastic. That boy is putting together a freaking streak at middleweight, isn't he? Then this main card gets tasty. When he kicked off with Merab versus Henry Cejudo, Cal knows we have $2,000 because we bet 1,000 on Merab, we bet 1,000 on Paulo Costa and Robert Whitaker. Won both of those. I was 3-0 going into the main event with my picks. They're favorites, so it's not anything to brag about. But I was 3-0, and then Volkanovski, which you get to, messed that up. But Merab and Henry Cejudo, it's just tough. Merab did exactly what I thought he was going to do. There was a few things with Henry Cejudo that worried me. If you watch the countdown, he talks about, like, whenever a fighter is talking about retirement before the fight, like if I lose, this is it. Never good. Never good. The guys who actually think they're going to beat their opponent and carry on and, fight for the title, you don't hear them talking about retirement. Never. It's never even brought up. So when I even hear a hint of retirement, I'm like, oh, he needs to get out. And it's not like Henry Cejudo is fighting another old school dude like a Dominic Cruz or something like that. You're fighting an absolute lion who hasn't been to the top of the mountain. He's going to do whatever it takes to get there. So he's just willing to do things you aren't, And Merab doesn't have the family like Cejudo, doesn't have the credentials. Like, he wants what Henry has. And boy, did he dominate. That first round was a little dicey with the striking. Obviously, Merab's striking is his liability to a certain degree. But I do think Merab, Henry Cejudo is not exactly, he's not an Alex Pereira or a Suga Sean. So I think he was willing to engage in that a little more so than if we were to fight a Sugar or to fight, some of these other strikers at bantamweight. So I don't fault them for that, but there was definitely some issues there. Then we came to the grappling. I mean, to do that to a gold medalist is insane. Absolutely insane. And then just talking smack while he had his back.
Smiling.
Talking to the Zuckerberg. You know, the Zuckerberg all up in it. We'll get to him being in the. I mean, there's a Zuckerberg curse. You don't want that guy sniffing around your camp. You do not want that man sniffing around your camp. Everybody losing. Whoever he touches, lost. You know, you just can't. You can't have it. You can't have it. There's a few things you don't want. You don't want Drake betting on you. You don't want Zuckerberg sniff around your camp, and you don't want me picking you. Those are the 3 factors. My picks are all based off bias. Who I like. You know, I don't get down with with all that other stuff. So I'm always biased. I have good intentions, but Zuckerberg's just an evil robot. You don't want around your camp. You know, unless you're trying to get your Instagram up, your Facebook. He controls all that stuff. So I get it, fellers. I get it. But regardless, you don't want that evil robot around you. But he can pretend he likes the sport. I guess it's good. So for Merab, Henry Cejudo, I'll tell you this. They showed Suga in the crowd, and obviously he's fighting Cheeto. When they're watching that fight, it's kind of like, the hell are we going to do? What the hell are we going to do?
Oh, with Merab?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? Like Merab, I would assume is going to be a favorite no matter who wins that fight. Like you're talking about an absolute savage. What's he won 10 in a row now? Because he was or was it 9? I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with that guy. You just got to oh my God, look at all those greens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 10 in a row. 10 in a row. Let's just go through. Let's go through a few of these to get him to the streak. He'd be John Dotson. If you forget about the little magician John Dotson, especially in 2020, savage. Cody Stamann, no punk. Marlon Moraes, savage. Jose Aldo, one of the greatest to ever do it. Peter Yan, great. Then Henry Cejudo. Like nobody deserves it more than Merab. So here, go back, Chin. Mm-hmm. Here's my thing. Sugar's my boy. Never met Merab. Phenomenal fighter. So I'd like Sugar to win this thing, but just taking my bias out of this equation, Marlon Moraes, phenomenal striker, didn't happen. Jose Aldo, one of the best strikers of all time, couldn't make it happen. Peter Yan, phenomenal striker, couldn't make it happen. Henry Cejudo, not bad, knockout artist, couldn't make it happen. So if you're Henry Cejudo, your team's looking at that going, eesh, and you're kind of a guy who sits on the back foot and picks his shots, and Merab doesn't really give you the opportunity. He just comes forward like a Georgian freaking Terminator. He just comes forward, doesn't give you the opportunity, to knock him out like that. I'm sure Sugar can pull it off. I'm sure they're going to have a game plan, but I would assume the game plan is we got to go balls to the wall in the first 2 rounds. Really the first round, because after the first round, he might give you a little bit on the first round. That second, third, fourth, fifth, he dominates. Your only opportunities, that little short windows in the first round, when he's going to entertain the stand-up. You got to hope he entertains it with Suga. I don't think he's going to, because I think he's going to be pressing the grappling and wrestling of Suga, which we really haven't seen. So I'm just curious. I'm sure we'll talk to Suga before that fight. I'm just curious when his team looks at that, like, what's the plan? Out of all the bantamweights in the world, the top 50, there's not a worse matchup for him. But again, that's why he's world champ. I thought Aljo was an awful matchup for him. Starched Aljo. Starched him. So maybe but again, Aljo and Merab, you're talking about 2 completely different animals. Word on the street, too, in training camp, when Aljo and Merab compete, Merab doing work. Merab puts it on him. So you're talking about a different animal. I also thought it was interesting with Merab, who's doing great at social media. Like his name's getting huge, right? He's becoming a fan favorite. I also thought it was interesting when he got on the mic, took the opportunity because he got a lot of hate, right? He got a lot of hate. He hasn't fought since 2023 in March against Peter Yan, but so there's been he's been waiting. You want a title shot, remember? And then they're like, he's not getting the title shot because he won't fight Aljo. He goes, hey, I never was offered the fight. I would have taken the fight. I don't know where that narrative came from. I would have at least been open to it. No one ever gave me a contract. So quit with that narrative. I was down to fight him. Aljo's in the back like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I'm down, whatever it takes, dude. I love the guy, but I got to do what I got to do. So remember the whole narrative was on Aljo and Merab. They won't fight each other. This is bad for business, and then obviously Aljo goes up a weight class, so that's not an issue. But still, Merab was like, hold up. That wasn't even a factor. I'm down to fight this dude. They just never offered it. So stop with that bullshit. So I thought he did great on the mic. I'm just curious if you're a Suga fan, you have that Hail Mary with his, his reactions and his speed. You got to hope he can land that as Merab comes in. But as I mentioned, some of the best strikers to ever compete, maybe not in their prime. That's the argument. Jose Aldo's out of his prime. Peter Yan, it's close. He dominated Peter. Marlon Moraes, John Dotson. Nobody has been able to land that big shot. So you gotta bank on Suga's in his prime. He's definitely the fastest guy that he's fought, that he can somehow get it done in that first round. Because I'm telling you, if you don't beat Merab in the first round, it ain't happening. It's not happening. So we'll see. But for Merab, I mean, what a night. Not Topuria. Topuria had the biggest night, but outside Topuria, Merab had he's your MVP. And for Henry Cejudo, I thought it was a little messed up because he said he was going to retire if he lost. UFC knew it. And obviously he's done this before where he retired. And Dana was like, no, we're going to give him the opportunity. It's not about him. It's about Merab. It's like, I get it, but you're talking about one of the greatest competitors of all time. One of your employees that's the greatest of all, a 2-division champion, a guy who retired, came back in big fights. You gave him straight to Aljo. Like, come on, man. They just don't. They're baby elephants. They don't forget, and they hold it against you. I would like to hear Cejudo on the mic. I'm pretty sure he's done. Because the Aljo one, you can look at that and go, that was competitive. Was that a split decision? That was competitive. Henry can do this. Henry can definitely do this. I feel long layoff, few tweaks here. I bet this guy can do this. He's a legit world beater. And then this one, it's like, oh, he can't. He can't. Also at his age. Like Luke Thomas has talked about this at length. You see it all over social media. I think it's at 155 and under, and it's title fights. I'd be curious about all fights, but once you hit past 32, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Fuck, dude. Past 32, it's a absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. So for Henry Cejudo, what a career. This isn't sad. This isn't sad at all. One of the greatest to ever do it. I'm sure they use him as a commentator. It's tough to get in there right now, but I'm sure, ESPN or whoever they sign with will use him to, break down stuff. He has his YouTube channel. The good thing for him is, even though Dana didn't give him the mic and let him do his thing, and he didn't even go to the press conference. So the good thing is, he has his own YouTube channel. He can save it for that, get more views there. But this isn't a sad thing. This isn't sad at all. Henry Cejudo's a complete outlier, a 1% of 1%. I mean, 2-division champion, gold medalist, probably top 3 greatest of all time combat sports athletes. I mean, gold medalist in the Olympics, 2-division champion in the UFC. Mm-hmm. Come on. What a great career. So that one doesn't make me sad. That one doesn't make me sad. So you had that, right? So the card's popping. You get that fun first fight. You get Merab doing his thing, giving the Zuckerberg there a little
Zuckerberg.
The Zuck guy a little nod as he's beating the shit out of Henry Cejudo. And then out comes Ian Machado. Gary, never been more nervous for a fight in a hot second. This guy had so much pressure on him. And if you're Ian, do I have to call him Ian Machado Gary? Can we just call him Ian Garry?
Yeah.
I refuse to call him Machado. Can they take that off there? If you're an Ian Garry fan, you've seen him fight, which I have many, many of times, you can tell the pressure was there. The pressure was there. The UFC's obviously leaning into it. They're showing his wife, and the crowd's booing his wife. He's getting booed. She's so pretty, right? So he has this dime-piece wife. And they're showing her, as he's walking, he's giving her a kiss, and they keep showing her. I'm like, what? God, get off of her tits, UFC. Jesus Christ. They're just leaning into that whole thing. And, Jeff Neal's a monster of an opponent. Such a tough fight for Ian Machado Gary. Like, he's fought good guys. He hasn't fought the elite guy, the top level guys, the guys that on any given night can beat anybody on the roster. Jeff Neal can. Jeff Neal gave Schaub all he can handle. He's beat some very, very good guys, and he's been in there with the best of the best. He's been in there with Schaub, which he gave him all he could handle. He freaking mollywop Vicente Luque. Ponzinibbio did work. Lots of Neil Magny, lots of Thompson, but you're talking about decisions. And remember, he beat Mike Perry, who's the darling of the mixed martial arts bare knuckle world. Like, everyone loves Mike Perry. He pieced up Mike Perry, you know. Nico Price, he beat Belal Muhammad. Ever heard of him? All right. So he's beat the best of the best. He's been in there with the best of the best, Kevin Holland. He's been in there with the very best of the best. He's an elite level guy. And if everything, he got sick, which kind of, you know, hurt him earlier on, especially with the Neil Magny, the Wonder Boy Thompson. So if he didn't have that illness, who knows what his career could have been. But regardless, he is such a dangerous opponent. Was he ranked 8? He's ranked number 8 too. I think Ian Garry was 10. So this is Ian Garry's first taste of elite competition, like really tough competition. It's a big jump, man. You know, he went from Neil Magny, who he absolutely demolished. Like, it was like a mercy killing, dude. He was just demolishing Neil Magny. UFC goes, okay, this guy's definitely ready for the top 10. Then you give him, you know, Vicente Luque, which I thought was a better fight for him than Neil. I thought he would have finished Vicente. Jeff Neal's a different animal. So we get to that fight. I thought, he's human. He's had more eyeballs on him than he's ever had in his life. And he wanted this, but he didn't want it in this way. So it has to affect him somehow. And I think that pressure showed up because it wasn't the normal. Now, this could be two things there, so take this with a grain of salt. It wasn't your normal Ian Garry where he's this killer, where you see it and you're like, oh, this guy's going to take over the world. You know, his knees were really good up the middle. He stayed on the outside. He moved a ton, but he didn't go for the throat. Like, he's a finisher. That wasn't there that night. That night was, let's not get knocked out. Let's win this fight by any means necessary and move on. Because all you got to do is win in the sport and just win, baby, and everyone forgets anything. They don't care. Ask John Jones, ask Conor McGregor. Just win. Nobody gives a shit what happens outside the ring if you win. You lose, that gets magnified, gets way worse for you. So I think for him, he was like, I don't care. People might be upset. I'm not risking any of this. Jeff Neal hits way too hard. I'm just going to do my thing and win this fight. And that's what he did. Now, did he gain any more fans? No. If you're a fan of him, are you still a fan of him? Sure. Yeah, I am. I do think he's the future. I stick by that. I think he's the future. I don't think this was his best showcase, even though it was a big card. He had all that pressure on him. I think he's such a talented fighter, and I think he just needs to get past this. He just needs to get past this. Now, he gets on the mic. It was not good. I think he's actually a good person, and that, you know, he wants to be Conor McGregor. Remember, Conor McGregor was never the heel. Conor McGregor never wanted to be like the evil guy, that shit starter. He believed so much in himself. The shit that he talked, it made sense to us, and it was inspiring. Ian Garry's problem is he wanted to be similar to Conor McGregor, but the crowd and the fan base and the internet has decided to make him a heel. And he doesn't want to be the heel, and he doesn't know how to deal with it. So he gets on the mic. He's like, you can boo me all I want. I was in the crowd. I was sitting where you are. Now you're watching me. So he's just not built to be this like evil guy in the UFC, like Colby Covington, who ran with this. He's just not wired that way. But the audience and the fan base has forced him, the UFC as well, has forced him into that. So it's not organic. It's not. And I was trying to think, what can he do? I think he would have made more waves calling out Sean Strickland and bringing up the hate. I think you should call out Sean Strickland. Is it going to happen? Probably not. It might, though. That's a massive fight. And Sean Strickland's looking for a dance partner. That's a massive fight. And Sean talked all that stuff. He's the one that started all this cuck stuff, if you remember. It started from that. Like, that really put fuel on the fire. That's where it started. So I think he should have addressed that and called out Sean Strickland. That's the headlines today. Even his performance, people forgot about him. Like, dude, Sean Strickland, Ian Garry, man, that's the talk. But he gets on, he calls out Colby Covington. Yeah, sure, I'd watch that. That's a great fight. It just didn't hit you. It just didn't hit you in the mouth like I think a Sean Strickland call out would have been. I think he's forced to be this bad guy that he's not. He's forced into that box now. He's like, yeah, you can boo me. You guys are paying attention. Sure. But if you're going to do it, you got to do it. You got to go all in. Remember, John Jones for the longest was always posting Bible quotes and passages, and everyone was like, dude, you just ran from an accident with a hooker and cocaine. What are we doing here? And he'd be like, God is good, John 3:17, whatever. It's like, drop the act. And so Ian's not doing any of that, any capacity, but the internet has turned him into this dark person, but he's not that. So he's struggling with that, and he's just not connecting with the fan base. I think if he turns absolute heel, he needs to get with I don't know if it's WWE writers. The UFC needs to get with a marketing team to help him embrace that and figure out how to navigate that. But unfortunately, it's not up to him. Unfortunately, it's not. Because unfortunately, he's a very good person deep down, I think. But this just got out of control. And he has to find out a way to navigate that where it doesn't affect his mental game. He can become that killer that he is. So that's the challenge for him. That's the challenge. And he's just not coming through. It's almost like, hey, just play a character. We know you're a good dude. We know you want to be the Conor McGregor, but that's not what it is, dude. You got to be this villain. You got to be the villain. You got to lean into it, because all you care about is when they say your name, they're either cheering or booing. When they're just lukewarm, you're screwed. You're screwed. Look at Belal Muhammad, lukewarm. Should have been the announcement for UFC 300. Not even a thought. It's messed up. Nobody deserves it more. But because he doesn't talk trash, he doesn't do these flashy things. All he does is win. Nope. So I think for Ian, he needs to sit down, not with his wife. He needs to sit down with a real team and come up with a plan on how he can relate to the fan base, even if it's hate, even if it's a dark campaign. He has to figure that out. And there's WWE writers out there. I'm sure there's writers here in LA who can help him out, but he needs to figure it out so he can connect with the fan base, even if it's a negative thing, sell merch off of it, and just keep winning. He's going to be tough to beat, man. That's the other thing. If he was just a guy, like, yeah, do your thing, man. You're just going to lose and people are going to forget about you. He's not. Even with all that pressure, he beat Jeff Neal. He beat him 2 rounds. For sure, 2 rounds. Online, if you go online after that fight, oh, this is a robbery. How would you even give him rounds? Look at the copy strike numbers. Look at him. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? He beat him. Just because a guy goes forward doesn't mean he wins the fight. So you got to take those hater goggles off. Say it was not Ian Garry. Say it's say it's Neil Magny, Jeff Neal. And Ian fought, and Magny fought like that, you'd be like, Magny all day. But because you have such hatred for Ian Garry, everyone's like, this is a robbery, this is bullshit. No. You just want to see the guy fail. That's why you talk all this shit about him. You want to see him, you're miserable, so you put it on Ian Garry. Why you care about his personal life is beyond me, but you just want to see this guy fail, and he's not. And he's not. He's passing the test. This is a very tough test. Pass the test. And now it only gets tougher for him from here. From here on out, you pass the Jeff Neal, now you're off to the races, bud. But he has to figure out, and he won't get a title shot until he figures it out. The UFC ain't going to do it right now. He has to figure that out. And again, if it's a WWE writer who writes a lot for heels, I'm sure the UFC's own, TKO, they can connect him with somebody, but they just got to figure out a marketing plan for Ian Garry, and then that is your next superstar. That's your next massive superstar. He has all the skill. He just needs help with his marketing. That's it. And he really missed the boat not calling out Sean Strickland. And he could have called out Colby Covington and called out Sean Strickland. You could do it all in the same. But just doing Colby, everyone's like, lukewarm on the idea. I'd love to see the fight. I'll pay for it. But so that fight, not going to blow your hair back, but huge night for Ian Garry. I mean, huge night. If he would have lost, if he got knocked out, tough to come back. Everyone's celebrating it. Everyone can't wait for this kid to lose. He gets knocked out. Number 8 guy drops off the queue, and they has to go back to work. It'd been tough. And he's only 26. Only 26. There's no more pressure on anybody at UFC 298 than Ian Garry. Nobody. Henry Cejudo's set. There's a lot of pressure he put on himself saying, I'm going to retire if I lose. Yeah, but he's already a 2-division champion, gold medalist. He's done it all. He's good. For Merab, some pressure. You're fighting an older guy, though. Not as much as Ian Machado Gary. Not as much. Just not. The co-main event, probably the best fight of the night, I would say. It's definitely up there. Whitaker, Paulo Costa. Paulo, great. He looked night and day different than when he fought Luke Rockhold in Utah. Maybe it was the elevation. Maybe it was just preparation. They said he was more disciplined in this fight. He looked fantastic. Problem is, he's fighting Robert Whitaker. And Robert Whitaker beats everybody in the division except for Izzy. Him and DDP fight 100 times. He probably wins 95. I truly believe that. He had an off night, but anybody not named Izzy, Robert Whitaker beats. Robert looked fantastic. Besides that one heel kick to the face, which thank God he got saved by the bell because that fight would have been over. Outside that, he dominated. One judge even gave that to him. 30-27. I mean, that was such a brutal shot. Just straight heel to the freaking chin. I mean, he was on 6th Street, man. That boy was wobbly-dobbly. So for Paulo Costa, he had a great showing, decision. You lost to the guy. He was the gatekeeper to the very best. If your name's not Izzy or DDP, Robert Whitaker's he's your Huckleberry, and he's tough to get by. Big night for Robert Whitaker. You lose that one, we're talking about retirement. But Robert Whitaker beat the best version of Paulo Costa, probably since we saw him against Hector Lombard. Not Hector Lombard, Yoel Romero. They look the same. He looked fantastic against Yoel Romero. That was the last time he looked good, to be honest. The Luke Rockhold was a disaster. He looked great in this fight. Kicks looked good. And then, he's lost 3 out of his last 4. And he's lost to the top of the division. So he lost to Izzy, lost to Vettori. Rockhold came back, although he used to be a middleweight monster. Luke Rockhold's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And so he's lost to the top guys, Izzy, Vettori, and Whitaker. 3 out of 4, so he's in a tough spot. But he's a character, looks great. It's the best we've seen him look, so he's going to come back with vengeance. He definitely will. I assumed winner of this because Robert Whitaker's issue is, he lost to DDP, and then he's lost to Izzy 2 or 3 times.
Twice, Izzy?
Twice, yeah. He's lost to Izzy twice. So the title shot's not in the cards for him. It's not. Izzy DDP's there, and then you got freaking Hamzat there as well. I would personally like to see, instead of Hamzat getting a direct title shot, which is insane, I'll take my money. Take my money. You know this. Take my money. But in all fairness, it's tough for him just to jump to the front of the queue. I would like to see Hamzat fight Whitaker. That'd be the next fight for me. And if you're not going to do that, you do Strickland Whitaker. That makes the most sense. Strickland Hamzat sounds fun. But it's that 3-man kind of parlay there that you could do that. But Strickland's ranked number 1 right now. I just don't think, and they've been talking about, I just don't think you can catapult Hamzat. He's not active enough. There's something going on with him coming over the States. I think you would do a Hamzat versus Strickland or Hamzat versus Robert Whitaker instead of giving him a straight title shot. And then you could do Izzy DDP. Middleweight's booming. But Whitaker Strickland's fun. Whitaker Hamzat's fun. Hamzat Strickland's fun. They got a lot of movement at middleweight. Middleweight is jam-packed now. And then you got your main event. This one broke my heart. I was 3-0. Told my friends. I tried putting $10K on Merab over Henry Cejudo, and they wouldn't take my money. California laws, I guess. I don't know. My brother didn't have the money to help me out there. So I tried putting $10K on Merab. I was going to do the win by decision and over 2.5 rounds. Didn't come through. Whatever. But I was 3-0. And then Volkanovski decided to take on a guy in Ilia Topuria. And, boy, it ended just the way Topuria called it, knocking him out. I think he called in the first round, though. Did he call second?
I think he did say first.
I thought he said first. Either way, he knocked him out and had a documentary team filming all of it because he's so sure he was going to win. Did you know this? dude, since I think since he knocked out Emmett, since that night, he's had a documentary team documenting everything called Rise of the Champ. And they even changed his bio to world champion. Wow. And you're like, whoa, and people are like, this guy's so cocky. And then he goes in there and did that. Topuria said he'd finish it in the first couple rounds. Okay, that's a general statement. I'll get a finish in one of these rounds. Everyone's like, he called it. Either way, dude, it's insane for Topuria to predict a knockout over Volkanovski, who has reigned over the featherweight division for a hot second. The greatest, hands down, the greatest featherweight to ever do it. And you're basing this off of, you know, he lost this fight against Makhachev. Okay, he took out an 8-day notice. The first fight, some people, the ones that know, thought he beat Makhachev. Mm-hmm. And then, so he loses that decision to Makhachev. His status has never been higher. They give him Yair Rodriguez, and he beats the living shit out of Yair. I mean, mollywopped him like, oh, there's nobody at featherweight can beat him. It's not happening. And then he takes a short notice fight against Islam. In hindsight, awful mistake. But still, I thought y'all must have forgot. Y'all must have forgot how good Volkanovski is at featherweight. There's not a man on this planet that can beat him. And Topuria said, hold my bear. Watch this. And I thought Topuria lost the first round. I thought due to the kicks, he was losing that first round. And then Volkanovski did exactly what I'm sure his team told him not to do, is to get in an exchange against the cage and trade shots with this. I mean, he's German, but pretend he's from Spain for everyone's reasonings. This Spanish juggernaut. And he decided to play that dangerous game and
Georgian, right? Topuria?
He was born in Germany.
Germany?
Germany. Yeah, he's German. Look at his birth date. Germany.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, born in Germany, man. Born in Germany, represents the Georgian flag, but then represents Spain. Let me see. Topuria was born in Germany to Georgian parents. At the age of 7, he moved to Georgia. At the age of 15, he moved to Spain. Okay, well, he's been in Spain about, 13 years? You're from Germany, bro. You're from Germany.
A little bit of everything.
Either way, yeah. He rides hard for Spain. He's a massive, massive star out there. Yeah. Not a star here in the States yet, though. That boy's getting booed nonstop everywhere he went. And you're fighting the beloved Alexander Volkanovski. And again, this stat's been everywhere, but fighters at 155 pounds and under are 1-22 in title fights. Not to mention, and did I know all this stuff before I picked Alex? Yeah, I did. Is it fun to pick Topuria? No. I love Alex. Alex is our boy here. So again, I'm biased as hell. Alex is older. The odds are against him. He's fighting an absolute killer in Topuria. He was also on the cover of the EA Sports game. 2 strikes. You're old and 32, fighting a title fight. Your odds are awful. 1-22, awful odds. You're on the EA Sports cover, awful odds. You're fighting Topuria, 27 years old, very similar to Connor Come Up. It was a recipe for disaster. And Alex did look older, didn't he?
He looked different.
He looked a little weathered, something's going on there. Could be age, could be the weight cut. I don't know. He just looked different. It was tough to see. How crazy. A year ago is when he went to a decision with Makhachev. Number 1 pound for pound ranked fighter in the world. And this is my point. I said this to Brian Fire and the Kid. When you become champ, the UFC is going to want to fight you so many times. They're going to want you to do all this stuff. Slow down. You never know when it's over. And there's so many good guys fighting right now. So with DDP, let's get back in there, fight 300. What was my advice? Absolutely not. Soak this in, brother. You're not going to be champ long. The guys are too good. The judging's too shitty. You never know when you're going to lose it. Take your time. Smell the flowers, dude, while you're champion. Sign as many deals as you can when you're champion. Go back home to your main, in Australia. Go back to your main staple and do the parades. You go on all the shows you can. Do all the marketing you can. Take your time. I'd say fight once a year if you're champ. Make as much money as you can because this game flips a switch on you. And next thing you know, you've lost 2 in a row. A year ago, Volkanovski, greatest fighter of all time, pound for pound #1, lost a decision to Makhachev, took it, this fight, it's at 155, it's a higher weight class. Makhachev's the best in the world. A lot of people thought Alexander Volkanovski won. He says, I'm fighting Yair, beats the brakes off Yair. Then you take a short notice fight against Makhachev, get starched. 4 months later, you fight this monster in Topuria, get starched. Now we're talking about, I guess he has one left. He's 1-22, Look at the key factors here. Guys over the age of 32 are 1-22 in title fights. Now we're talking a different story. What was he going to do? He's hanging out with Zuckerberg's in the corner. Awkward as shit. I love how everyone has to pretend that they're so into it. Oh, Zuck. Yeah, go Zuck. Shut up. Oh, he's so into it. He loves fighting. Okay. You just don't want your freaking Facebook or Instagram to get taken down. Get off his nuts. And he has him in his corner. What was he doing in your corner? What fight advice was Zuckerberg giving you in the corner? Did you see him when he was taking his stuff off and they're like, he's all, well, this is what we do as guys. We're guys, right? Guys, I hand stuff over. And everyone's like, no, just get in the back, dude. Here. It was so awkward. But when you're Alex Volkanovski, you're one of the greats. He's hanging out with Jamal Murray from the Denver Nuggets. Shout out the world champion Denver Nuggets. He's hanging out with every Joe Schmo, these billionaires, Zuckerberg, everyone's on your nuts. Then swagger, head kick. Swagger, right hook, 0-2. Let me know if Zuckerberg's hanging around next month. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, when you're champ, drag your fucking feet, dude. Take it in. Be like a pitcher in the MLB. They got to go at your pace. You control the pace. You don't have to do shit. For DDP, dude, fuck everybody. Take your time. Fight 300? Fuck 300. 301? Fuck 301. Fight at UFC 364. You know what I'm saying, though? The game goes by too fast. They get all these endorsements. Do everything you can. Go on every show you can while you're champ. People love you when you're champ. You lose one, ask anybody who's lost one how the door shut on you, how the UFC treats you. Give them a taste of their own medicine. Take your goddamn time. Learn from this man. DDP, dude, don't fight anybody till the end of the year. We really need you at 300. Never. You know what I'm saying? That's my advice. So what's next for Topuria? I'll get to that after this, Jen. In the middle of a rant, Doug. After Topuria gets this big win over Volkanovski, all signs would point, and I think Dana at the press conference said they're going to fight. His next fight's going to be in Spain, or they're going to try and do Spain, which makes this even bigger. It's very Conor-ish-like. Remember, Conor won, and it took him a little while to get to Dublin, but they pulled it off. Very special night there. Topuria, exact same thing. They're all in on Topuria. I think you have to give Volkanovski the right treatment. I think he was the division's reigning champ for so long. They usually give the guy the rematch. They let him do his thing. You look at Volkanovski, Max Holloway. Holloway's the reigning champ for so long. So they gave Max the proper treatment. Volkanovski even did it more successfully. So I think Volkanovski, just who he is, what he's accomplished, you got to give him that treatment. It's going to take a while for them to figure out Spain and the arena and all that stuff and the logistics. So do it in 6 months, 8 months, but I think you do Volkanovski, Topuria in Spain. If you don't do that, this is where the UFC fucked up. And you can see it with the placement of certain fights on UFC 300. UFC fucked up. They're too big, they're too fancy now. They're not paying attention to details. And UFC 300 would show you this. They stacked 298. They stacked 299. And 300, which they should have been planned for a year ago, was a byproduct. And they're scrambling. They're scrambling to get things done. It showed Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje makes no fucking sense. Nobody's asking for it. Everyone loves Max Holloway. He's probably going to get destroyed. We don't want to see it. What's it do for the division? It moves nobody forward. Everyone stays lukewarm on it. Max Holloway, by all means, should be the guy fighting Topuria next. That's a huge fucking feather in Topuria's cap. Okay, Max goes out there and gets so much brain damage from Justin, the murderer Gaethje. That's out the window. So Max Holloway's not an option. Okay, so I guess we're going to do the winner of Yair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega. Yair in Spain, that makes sense. Spanish speaking. We just saw Yair get absolutely destroyed by Volkanovski. Okay. Max Holloway was the choice, but they didn't plan it out. They fucked up. Max Holloway's your choice. That should be the next guy. But he's on UFC 300 fighting a fight that makes no sense for anybody. They panicked. They agreed to all these fights. And now they're in a pickle. They'll figure it out, though, like they always do. I'm just saying, you can tell this was not well thought out. So, yeah, you would do the winner of Yair and Brian Ortega. Max Holloway's the number one guy. He's the superstar. He's a legend. That'd be Max Holloway, Topuria in Spain. What? So we'll see. We'll see what they do. But this is the only good thing. Being a Volkanovski fan, him just reigning over the division was stagnant. The division was like, toss him a Volk, he's going to eat him alive. There's nobody besides Topuria that you thought was going to beat Volkanovski. Just not happening. He was dominating. So that division was kind of like not that exciting. Now that he's out, division back. Topuria, Max Holloway, fire. Topuria, Yair Rodriguez, fire. Topuria, Brian Ortega, fire. Topuria, Ivalov, fire. Topuria, Arnold Allen, fire. Topuria just knocked out Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett's fucked here. Calvin Kattar and Aljo. You got some fun ones. You do Aljo and Topuria eventually. If he wins, if he beats Calvin Kattar. So there's a lot of life in the featherweight division now. It's a ton of life, which before it was dead. To fight Alex is where you go to die. Now it's open. Now it's open, man. But they messed up. The UFC messed up. Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje makes no sense. Max Holloway's who's next for Topuria? Max Holloway. In Spain, take my goddamn money. But now he's going to suffer all this brain trauma against Justin Gaethje. Way to go. That UFC 300 is baffling. We'll get to it after this. Let's do the read. That UFC 300 makes no sense. Tell you what makes sense, though. We're talking about O'Reilly. Yep, I'll tell you what makes sense. Reward points. It's Reward bonus points month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Shop in store or online to receive points and get rewards sent straight to your phone or inbox. Get 2, 3, 4, or even 5 times bonus points on select purchases. Receive bonus points on select items throughout the store like wiper blades, so I could use it today, antifreeze and coolant, parts cleaner, motor oil, and so much more. These bonus points can help get you to your next reward even faster. You receive $5 reward for every 150 reward points to use on your next in-store or online purchase. I'm at O'Reilly all the time. I'm a regular. I might as well work there. All right. Members can check points and rewards online anytime. If you're already an O Rewards member and not receiving rewards, just add your email address or mobile phone number. You get 10 reward for updating your existing account. If you're not an O Rewards member yet, sign up is quick. It's so easy online at O'ReillyAuto.com or in store at O'Reilly Auto Parts. O'Reilly Auto Parts. This episode of the Schaub Show Breakdown 298 is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Most of you guys are multitasking. You're doing all your stuff. You're driving, you're cleaning, you're exercising. But if you're not in some kind of moving vehicle, there's something else you can be doing right now. Let's get an auto quote from Progressive Insurance. It's so easy. You could save money by doing it right from your freaking phone. Drivers who saved by switching to Progressive save nearly $750 on average, and auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. 7 discounts for having multiple vehicles on your policy, being a homeowner, and so much more. So just like your favorite podcast, Progressive will be with you 24/7, 365 days a year, so you're protected no matter what. Multitask right now. Quote your car insurance at Progressive.com to join the over 28 million drivers who trust Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations. Progressive.
All right. Well, you're talking about UFC 300. They made the announcement that the headliner is Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill.
Here's the thing about this. UFC 300 main event is Alex Pereira, Jamahal Hill. This was probably their 10th choice. Mm-hmm. The UFC honey-dicked us by giving us this main event. And they go, what? It's a great card. I'm not arguing it's not a great card. It is a good card. Is it as good as $299? Not a chance. Is it a solid card? Yes. Is any fight on this card 300 worthy? No. There's not a single fight on there on the main card that's, well, Charles O'Leary.
Sorokian.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yuri Rakic, that's a good one. Cater, Aljo, they're good. They're not 300 worthy. Now, I didn't set the table for 300. Mr. White did. He said, and I quote, not directly, I might be paraphrasing here because I have CT, but Dana White set the precedence there. He set the standard going, this card, it's never been done in combat sports history. The names and the fights that we announce is going to blow you away. So I'm getting ready. I want to be blown. We all in here to get blown. The fans are here to get blown. Nobody got blown away. Nobody. With this announcement, everyone went, oh. Now, Alex Pereira, Jamahal Hill is a fantastic fight. It's just not 300. It's not going to blow you away. Izzy DDP, that'll blow me away. Hamzat DDP, Hamzat Leon Edwards, Brock Les, blown away? To blow me? You better come correct. To blow me away, to really get that blower going, you better come correct. He just hasn't come correct. Again, if he would have said, listen, the sport's at a different level now. It's not like UFC 100 and 200 where we're just different now. It's going to be a solid card. Then this would have, I'd be like, damn, this thing's dope. But you told me I was going to get blown. You told me I was going to get blown. And I'm not blown here. Nobody's blown away by this in any capacity. No casual, sure as hell no hardcore. Nobody's blown away here. And you told me I was going to get blown. And it didn't happen. And that's why there's so much backlash. You did this. Nobody else. You said we're going to get blown away. There's not a person on this earth who got blown away. It's just not happening. And you told us we were going to get blown. That's the issue. He set that table, not us. Also, quick question. Jamahal Hill tore his Achilles, what?
July of last year.
Yeah, man. He's coming back faster than Aaron Rodgers. Nobody's worried about that?
I am.
I think you should be. I think the UFC was scrounging for a main event. Tickets go on sale. We're 2 months out. They've offered everyone. Most people are like, nah, I don't care about 300. They went, oh my God, Brock Lesnar, not happening. Hamzat, not happening. Ronda, sure as fuck, not happening. Diaz, not happening. Any Diaz, not happening. Connor, not happening. Like, what are we going to do? Then someone was like, I don't know what else to do, man. How's Jamal's Achilles? Well, call him. Of course, Jamal, being the warrior he is, went, I'm good. There's no way he's a hundo. So you're getting a compromised Jamahal Hill versus Alex Pereira as the main event? Jamahal Hill probably a plus 300? Even at full strength, it's a tough freaking night in the office. But a compromise, there's no way he's a hundo. If he tore it in July, it's science. That ain't no 300 card. Look at that thing. It's tasty. Don't get me wrong. I like all those matchups. You don't want to miss one. You know what? The only thing that blew me away on here was Kayla Harrison. That was the only one I went, oh, damn, she's on 300? Cool. It's not the main event. I was told main event, I'm getting blown. Kayla Harrison blew me. That blew me. I went, Oh, damn. I went, oh, damn, that's a fun one. That's a fun one. Right? We all went, that's cool. You weren't blown away, though. Then Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway, they're like, check this out. Why? Because they fucked up. They didn't plan. They're too busy making money elsewhere. They're too busy getting Tom Brady and everyone to slap fight league. The priorities are different now. You're going to be so much better off when you stop caring as much as the UFC stops caring. You're going to be so much less hurt. Your feelings are going to be so much more protected if you realize that it's a different business than it was 5 years ago, than it was 10 years ago. It's just not the same. You're expecting the same quality card we got in UFC 100 and 200, then 300, your feelings are going to get hurt. You got to change your expectations because UFC has changed theirs. But you guys are still banking on them being the old school UFC. Them days are gone. There's never going to be another Conor. Them days are gone. They can't even get that guy to fight. Them days are gone. Nobody's getting blown anymore. You know? And again, I was promised I was going to get blown, right? I didn't set that table. Mr. White did. He told me you'd be blown away. We're just not blown here. Nobody's blown away. Nobody is. Great card, though. If this was UFC 299, I'd be like, this is sick. UFC 299, if you swap with 300, like, that's a fun card. You're not getting as many complaints.
There's like the what can make a card great is great matchups, but also if all the
Surprises.
fights are bangers, like then we'll look back and be like, wow, UFC 300. So do you think there's
True.
an element that whole thing can still get saved if every fight is just an epic fight?
If there's like a bunch of KOs or like fight of the nights, there's that. And the amount of pressure Dana's going to put on that pre-fight speech, he's going to give him the Al Pacino Any Given Sunday speech. We fight for every inch. He's going to give him that because he knows he needs that whole card to bail his ass out. Kind of. He doesn't give a shit about online hate, but he's going to be giving that old Al Pacino Any Given Sunday speech. Bro, look at $299. You're telling me $299 main card? God, and prelims ain't better than 300? Suga Sean, Cheeto, Dustin Poirier, BSD. That was an oh shit. That blew me. That blew me. I went, whoa, that's out of left field. That's 300-ish. Whoa, $299. Kevin Holland, Michael Venom Page. That blew me. I'm getting blown on these. Gilbert Burns, JDM. That blew me. Peter Yan, Song Yadong. Take my money. That's your opening fight? This is blowing me, guys. Curtis Blaze, Almeida. Dude, that's a great fucking fight. Gamrot, RDA. Okay. Kyler Phillips. Yep. Okay. Then after that, solid. But that main card has more enticing fights than 300. Let me see the 300. So there's 6 fights on 300. That's the difference. Not 5. There's 6, Jen. You just learned that, Doug.
Thanks.
Yep. So you got Yuri and Rakic. That's a great fight. Charles Oliveira, Armin Tursukin. That's a good fight. Justin Gaethje, Max Holloway. Makes no sense, but I'll watch. Zhang Weili versus Yan. Okay, whatever. Nah, I ain't blowing nobody. And then Alex Pereira, Jamahal Hill. I'll take $299 all day. Is there anybody out there that likes 300 over $299? When I say anyway, I mean you two guys. I can't hear anybody else.
They're both good, man. I mean, obviously $299.
No, you got to pick one, Chin.
If I had to watch either or,
You can only watch one. You're dead broke. Your mom gives you $80. Goes, you can only pick one. You can have the house for one night to yourself. Drink all you want. Korean barbecue. You get one
it's just
fight.
like a close toss. But I would probably Yeah, I'm more intrigued by $299 to be
All
honest.
day.
Yeah,
all day.
but wanted to say Janine, Dustin Poirier. That's
It's like JDM in his first big fight against Gilbert Burns. Okay. Kevin Holland, Michael Venom Page. Okay. BSD. Dustin Poirier, the diamond with hot sauce? Okay. Cheeto? Sugar? Okay. I would say Cheeto Sugar is probably the least hyped fight on that card. They fought before. $2.99, Doug. $2.99. What else you got, Jen?
All right. So Dana White at the press conference said that Leon Edwards accepted 3 different fights for potential 300 main event, and then I guess none of it worked out, and then everyone's wondering if Belal was... Go ahead.
How fucked up is this? He offered him 3 fights. One of the fights, this is just science. He offered Leon Edwards 3 fucking fights. One of the fights was not Belal Muhammad.
Yeah. Which
How fucked up is that? He offered him Hamzat, he offered him Shavkat, and he offered him insert another name. But it's not Belal. Belal he's like, can we not? I'll go. I'll fight 300. Like,
According to Schmozone.
You're telling me Leon Edwards versus Belal's not a more interesting fight than Jamahal Hill and Alex Pereira? Really? Look, Belal, how many has he won? He asked me to make him a video for this, and I forgot.
What happened?
He asked me to submit him a video of vying for him to get the title shot, and I forgot. Everybody else did. I messed up. I'm sorry, Belal. I love you. I 100% think you should fight for the title. What are we doing when the UFC, he's won out of his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. He's 13-1 out of his last 15. One's a no contest. He's 13-1. He's won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fights in a row at the most competitive division, maybe outside 55. 45 is tough too. 35 is tasty. But either way, at 170, which is stacked, he's won 9 in a row. And because he's not doing TikTok dances and he's not wearing fur coats and chains and talking all this shit, you're not going to give the guy an opportunity? Oh, we're WWE. We've lost it. And it's not like he's a boring, like some crazy boring wrestler, which back in the day they disciplined. No. The guy beat the shit out of Sean Brady, dude. The guy's a savage. But because you didn't check this box, then why have rankings? If rankings mean nothing, then why are we doing this? Why even have them? Who's it for? Because it ain't for the fighters. If it meant something, if it was like every other legitimate sport, then there's no 3 other offers. That's not even on the table. This is insane to me. Now, the naysayers will, well, Belal's boring and, he doesn't sell pay-per-views. Okay, so the only guys that get title shots are the guys that can sell pay-per-views or that have big social media followings. Then my question is, what the fuck are we doing? Are we not a legitimate sport anymore? Because then they should sign Jake Paul and Logan Paul right now. Sign Mr. Beast. Do Mr. Beast versus Izzy. If that's all we care about, do Mr. Beast versus fucking Black Beast. Do that. Do Derek Lewis, Mr. Beast for UFC 300. That would have blown me. Because if we're not going to go by who deserves it, I'm out. Now I can get how, let's say Belal's on a 9-fight winning streak, another guy's on an 8-fight winning streak, but he has a lot of hype. Let's say there's a Topuria or a Conor McGregor-esque guy coming up the rankings. Hamzat. Even Hamzat, he doesn't have the win, so it makes no sense. And he's in a different weight class. It makes no fucking sense. But if there's another like Topuria, Conor-ish guy with 8 wins or 9 wins similar to Belal, and they want to give that guy the nod over Belal, I can agree with that. We're in the business of entertainment, making money. I get that. But when this guy's not even up for it, my question is, what the fuck are we doing? Oh, it's WWE. Well, then why the fuck doesn't Ian Garry have a rider to turn heel professionally? If we're going to do this game, Ian Garry should be with the fucking Undertaker right now. Is he a heel? The Rock's a heel now. Get his guy. You know, see, I know WWE. What's up? Rock's a heel now. Bet you know that, Chin. Boom. Did I blow you there?
Didn't know, but that
didn't blow you?
The Rock's a heel?
Tough to blow, dude.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. Yeah, Rock's heel now, dog.
Yay. Rock.
Yeah. For Belal, it's insane. They offered 3 fights. Belal wasn't even a thought, wasn't a byproduct of. They were like, no. My question is, then what the fuck are we doing? If a guy wins 9 fights against the best of the world, and he's still not good enough to get a title shot because he doesn't sell pay-per-views or doesn't have a huge Instagram following, then what are we doing? Make Mr. Beast versus the Black Beast if you want to blow everybody away. It's no different. What are we doing? Put CM Punk back in there against Leon Edwards then. If that's what you want. If all we care about is ratings, get CM Punk in there. My question again is, what are we doing? It's fucked up, dude. It ain't right. Some things just ain't right. Leon Edwards, Belal Muhammad now should be the main event 300. The main event? No. Co-main event? You wouldn't be cool with co-main event? You're telling me he can be the co-main event or main event on 299? That's a great freaking fight, dude. Leon Edwards is a huge star now. Belal beats him. What's up? That's the thing. Belal beats him. Then what are you going to do? Again, my question is, what the fuck are we doing? What else you got, Jen? Belal, I'm sorry I didn't make that video. I was swamped, dude. I was swamped, dog.
Second break.
I'll tell you what does blow me away. Happy Hippo. We're talking about Happy Hippo, creating the best on the freaking planet. They got everything you need. If you're like, oh, I'm hesitant. You don't want to pull the trigger like Dana White on UFC 300 with Belal and Leon Edwards. You don't want to pull the trigger because you're worried. Don't be. Happy Hippo got you covered. They create them that you can trust. They got in every form you want. Powders, gummies. They got highly concentrated shots. They got energy shots. They got taffy. They got it all. It's the one-stop shop. This stuff will help you get stuff done. I said stuff too many times. Either way, it's the best of the best. Kratom's my hidden gem. Go to happyhippo.com. Promo code is Thiccc24 for 20% off for life. That's Thiccc24 at happyhippo.com. This episode of the Schaub Show is also brought to you by the best of the best. If I'm spinning it up my mouth, it's the best of the best. We're talking about Caged Elite supplements. That's right. I wish I had this stuff when I competed. It's third-party tested for banned substances, NSF Informed Sports Certified, which means if you're a UFC fighter, if you're an NBA player, NFL player, you can trust what's on the bottle. You don't have to ever worry about popping because all their stuff is legit. They're not outsourcing from shady area that we can't pronounce. No colors, flavors from artificial sources. It's all clean formulas. It's the best formulas. Their pre-workout is so intense. I love it. Their freaking mindset with caffeine is my absolute best product I've ever taken for any of that stuff. Nootropics, caffeine, get your mind right. You will not find a better product than Mindset with caffeine. I think it's the Elite Series. It has the gold label on it. It is the absolute best. Their protein tastes incredible. It's ultra filtered, 100% isolate protein. But the Mindset is the difference maker. You take that Mindset with the caffeine, you don't feel it, you're a serial killer. Straight up, man. It works. The science speaks for itself. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure or prevent any disease. If you want to try the best supplements on the planet, I'm telling you, no bullshit. Go to KAGED.com. Use the code SHAB. You get 20% off the Mindset Elite, the pre-workout Elite, the hydration Elite, the proteins. But I'm telling you, get your 20% off the Mindset Elite. Get back to your boy. Cage.com. Promo code SHAB, 20% off. KAGED.com. Promo code SHAB, 20% off. What else you got, Chin?
Going back to the Leon Edwards stuff, after that happened as well, Nate Diaz posted this. It doesn't mean much, but he did post him with a face-off and some other stuff with Leon here.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. You know, like, and Nate's great at this. Again, a lot of these guys can take a page out of Nate Diaz's book. He always inserts himself in the conversation. He's always staying relevant. He always is, but he's also a fighter's fighter, you know? So there's this weird where it's like guys who do this, you know, they're always doing it, but they're not active. Conor for a long time, not active. Anybody gets shine, he takes it from him. Nate Diaz, he always inserts his name into the conversation. It's good.
Yeah, there's him with Conor as well in the picture.
He's fighting Masvidal, so in boxing.
Oh, yeah. Luke Thomas put this out. It's the payouts for UFC 298.
This is such a waste of time. If you believe this, then I got some UFC 300 news that's going to blow you away. Like none of this is real. Of course, this leaks and it's all bullshit. You think Henry Cejudo? You think, what are they saying he made on there? 120?
150, but
that's stupid. None of these numbers are real. You think Ian Garry, the massive star, they're paying him $55,000?
That's the one that was like the trippiest to me, I think.
No, it's stupid. It's silly.
Okay, well.
That's not real.
Let's go. Rampage Jackson recently posted that he offered Wanderlei Silva a boxing match, and then they both agreed to it. And then Wanderlei's going to be on the Jackson podcast with them, and they're gonna explain. They're gonna make an announcement.
I'll watch that. But it's just boxing.
I think just boxing. Yeah, he wants to do it in guitar.
I'd rather him do bare knuckle. Bare knuckle boxing.
Did Rampage say he wants to do bare knuckle, or he wants to stay away from that? I forgot.
I don't know. I don't see him box, so I'd rather see him do MMA or bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah, it would make it more interesting without a doubt. DC and Chael are doing a podcast.
Two of my faves.
The good guy and the bad guy.
Chael put this is the big moment for Daniel. I'm very happy for him. That's brilliant. Of course they should be together. Because they were doing with my boy DCRC. I love Ryan Clark. But, you know, obviously Chael's has his black
So
belt.
did that show then stop then? Because I didn't. Okay.
That's going to stop. I don't know if they've stopped it yet, but clearly you can't have Daniel doing 7 podcasts on ESPN. But that's such a good show.
And this is a little bit.
This is too old, Dan. Is this his daughter?
But this is.
Damn, dog.
No. But what's great about this is so Volkanovski posted about his daughter saying, like, you know, what if someone breaks in the house? He's like, I got it. I'm a fighter, this and that. And they go, what if it's Islam Makhachev? And then he just started laughing. And then Islam ended up sending his daughters gifts. And then he posted about it as well.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's kind of like, you know, letting the daughters know everything's cool. We're not, fighting or everything.
Let me see the video.
So obviously, everyone's seen the video that we did when I was telling the story about Ariana, my little one, talking about someone breaking in and what if it's Islam. The funny video that everyone had a good laugh about. I guess Islam must have felt a little bit bad and sent some presents for the girls. And I remember he messaged me and he said, like, look, just tell them I've never come to the house uninvited. So obviously, a good human being, Islam, so I appreciate that. But yeah, it was all good fun. She's not really obviously terrified of that. She was just stirring me up, but it was a funny story. And thank you for that. It means a lot. And I'm sure they're going to appreciate it. Cheers.
That's cool.
His the way he like handled the defeat, remember he was like really broken up before the last defeat with Islam, but this one he was kind of like he's all good.
I think he's concussed, Jen. He's not all good.
So it's gonna hit.
Not concussed, it's gonna hit today. It's gonna hit today.
I mean, losing for sure is gonna suck, but yeah, he seemed really cool about it though this time around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is interesting. So Ilia Topuria, I guess when he weight cuts, apparently he drinks a half a bottle of wine the night before, and there was actually footage of him drinking with his girl. That's how he ends up losing like 2 pounds.
Man,
the night.
That's insane.
What?
How many fighters are gonna start drinking now?
And he says it never affected him because obviously he's
working. Yeah, dude, do you drink that bottle of wine every night if you're gonna fight like that? That dude is a superstar.
And this is the last one for current events. Let me just refresh this real quick. I didn't see this. I don't know where this was, but this is apparently during the broadcast for UFC.
What a guy, what a night. UFC 298, Anaheim, California. Certainly one for the books. What a guy. That's fucking gay.
I love Bisbee. Yeah, he's a wild boy, man. But also, why are they screwing him like that and airing it while
live broadcasts are tricky,
tough,
man. Yeah,
it's tough. Oh, I see the similar stuff on here when the cameras are off.
Thanks, Case, for actually letting us know when it's not on air, though.
Yeah, shout out to Case. UFC fight card. Is this in Mexico?
Yep. Mexico
You got
City.
Brandon Moreno, the nicest guy in the sport. Brandon Royval. They fought before, but Brandon Royval is a different animal now. The biggest fight on this card, and we were not expecting this, is Yair Rodriguez-Brian Ortega. The implications for that fight have been magnified to a significant amount because the winner of that fight is probably going to fight Topuria. Massive. When before, you tell me Brian's going to fight Volkanovski again? Tell me Yair's going to fight Volkanovski again? No. Now there's a new champion. There's a new crown at the helm. There's a new man named Topuria. Now that, and the UFC fucked up and did Max versus Justin Gaethje. Now Yair Brian Ortega, winner of that, is most likely going to fight in Spain against Topuria. So that fight is massive. It was always big. Now it's massive. Take my money. And this is a fight night?
Should be.
It is. Yeah. Love it.
There's also that PFL versus Bellator that's finally happening. And
yeah, solid fights on there. That's on ESPN, I assume. Our boy Aaron Pico grew up, huh? Has a beard, mustache now, looks good, shredded. Thiago Santos, Yoel Romero, take my money. Clay Collard, AJ McKee, that's great. Nemkov, Bruno, all right. Ray Cooper, Jason Jackson, Johnny Eblin, might be the best middleweight in the world.
Fights,
yeah. Ryan Bader, Henan Fiera, that's great. Solid card, Clarissa Shields fighting on there.
So it's ESPN Plus pay-per-view and DAZN pay-per-view, which I don't think I've seen before.
Oh, you didn't tell me it was pay-per-view. I got to pay for this? I ain't paying for it.
I mean,
right?
it's like,
hey, I ain't paying for it, right? Oh, this isn't free?
I guess not. Maybe they're.
Oh, I'll catch it on the replay. Oh, I got to pay for a PFL? Well, nobody's doing that, right?
At least this
all my
card's
money
better.
goes to the UFC.
There have been pay-per-views with which was it PFL that were just
They sold 5 pay-per-views with Kyla Harrison. Oh, but nobody's paying for that. I thought this was free. I was going to have a good weekend. Now I have to pay for PFL and Bellator? Well, no one's going to fucking do that, right? This was a disaster. They're going to learn the hard way.
We'll see what happens.
I know what happens. One of the most exciting fights over the weekend before we go, by far the best fight. If you have not seen this, my boy Jonathan Haggerty and one championship, Muay Thai with MMA gloves on. I'm telling you, is it on YouTube, Chin?
It's on YouTube.
Watch my boy Jonathan Haggerty, who gets dropped in the first round. It's not looking good. The pace that these boys set in Muay Thai with MMA gloves on, if this doesn't blow you away, you're impossible to get blown. This fight was lit, dude, as the kids say. This fight was fantastic. And British finest, Jonathan Haggerty, the champ, came out victorious. He hit him with this. The timing of this right hand in the third round is so high level. It's so filthy. If you guys haven't watched it, it's they have it on there. It's on One Championship's YouTube. It's One Fight Night 19. You gotta watch the highlights. That'll give you an idea. These boys, it's the best fight over the weekend. If you thought Whitaker Paulo Costa was good, do me a favor. If you like fisticuffs, look up Jonathan Haggerty versus Lobo. It's such a fun, violent fight. It's fantastic. Is that it, Chin?
That's it.
All right, kids. That is it. Enjoy the fight night. And if you want to pay for the PFL Bellator, by all means do it. I'm not going to. That's rude. But you got Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval, Denver's finest, Yair Rodriguez, Brian Ortega. Massive fight for the featherweight division. Winner will probably fight Topuria in Spain. Take my money. The Rosa Jr., the young man's back, doing the damn thing. You got a bunch of good fights on there for a fight night. It's fantastic. It's in Mexico. Enjoy the fights. Like, subscribe, do your thing. Love you guys. See you next time.